Hey, everybody. Welcome to Behind the Cards. My name is Bobby. I am your host. And for those who don't know, on Behind the Cards, I discuss spirituality with people and what brought them to their spiritual paths. Everybody has a story. I don't care who you are, and all those stories are fascinating. I've been a reader for 40 years, and sorry, I lost my glasses, so I get to wear my cheaters like this. Um, I've been a reader for 40 years, and I have met a variety of people from different paths. So I decided on YouTube, why not find out what makes people tick? So with that in mind, today's guest is Madam Maru,
Hi,
Maruta from Madam
everybody.
Maru's House of Cards. Everybody who knows Maru knows uh, that she's one of the coolest people in the tarot community.
Oh, thanks.
She's clever. She's quick on the keyboard. If somebody needs a question answered before we even get it out of her mouths, Maru has an answer posted on the board usually. I mean, you remind me very much of my friend Allison. She's just on the ball with everything. Let's say hi to a couple people right off the bat. We've got Denise. Hi, Denise. Lady Silver. Yep,
Hi.
40 years, Lady Silver. I started when I was 15 years old. And I've been reading on and off for 40 years, mostly on. When I was a hairstylist in nail tech, I would read for my clients in the salon. It was a lot of fun. Maruta, how is your day going so far?
Pretty good. I got some
Yeah.
rest. I had some breakfast.
Awesome. So let's start with the basics. We're gonna act like nobody's ever heard the name Maru before, okay?
Hmm.
We're going to act like you're a brand new creature that was just discovered.
Okay.
So what I want to know first off is where do you live? What part of the country?
I live in a suburb of Cleveland, Ohio.
Ohio. Every time I hear that, I think the Drew Carey show. Um, Lady Silver says she's watching on break, but wanted to show support. That is awesome. Thank you, my love. So let's go ahead and jump into some questions for you. You've seen how it works. We've talked backstage. I just need to find. Here we are. So, our first question is the Fool. The Fool is new beginnings, innocence, purity, adventure, and rebellion. It's starting a new journey. Um, it's the element of air. What prompted your spiritual journey, or did it just kind of develop as it went? Where was the starting point?
Well, probably um, when I was a child, my parents were okay. My mom's a Lutheran minister's daughter. So for her, it was extremely important for us to go to church every Sunday. And I went to a Latvian Lutheran church because my parents are Latvian. And as I was sitting in church, I noticed that the altar behind the cross was covered with the symbols of the Latvian pagan gods.
Really?
And I was like, okay, that's a little contradictory. But they would teach us about our Latvian roots, which included ethnography, which included the study of the symbols of our pagan past.
Now that's cool. See, that is phenomenal because what a lot of people don't realize when the church started building their houses of worship, they did it on the pagan sites
Hmm.
to try to stamp out the pagan religion. But I would say the dummies didn't take into account that they were using pagan uh, stonemasons and builders. And so
Hmm.
what these pagans did would hide their symbols in the buildings. If you look into a lot of the older churches, it sounds like your church was just blatant about it, though. So
Pretty much,
that's
yeah.
pretty awesome. Um,
Well,
like,
Latvians and Lithuanians were the last existing pagan nations in Europe.
Really?
Hmm.
See, that's phenomenal. I did not know that. What pagan deities were making an appearance on the altars? Do you remember?
Well, they're specific to the Latvian and Lithuanian cultures. Um,
Mhm.
you know, we have Dievs, which is God, and he's called Debusitavs, which is Sky Father. And then we have Mara, and she is basically the goddess of the earth. And we have Lima, which is the goddess of fate. And then we have God's sons, and we have different mothers of various aspects of nature.
You said Mara, is that where Maruta comes from?
Um, I'm not sure. Actually.
I'm gonna call you my little goddess from now on. Uh, so seeing those symbols, how did you relate to them? Did you feel a stronger pull to them than to this, or how did that go?
Well, I felt like there needed to be a deeper connection than what I was getting at the Lutheran church. So there was an evangelical church across the street, and when I was 16, I started going there.
Hmm.
But what I encountered there was basically more hypocrisy, to be honest.
Really?
And so I kind of, once I was 21, I stopped going to church at all. And I moved into this apartment that was owned by a witch, and um, by associating with him, I started getting into the more of the pagan culture in this country.
That's awesome. Yeah, witches have that way. Yeah, come to me.
It wasn't really
No,
even like
I
that.
know. It
It was
kind of,
just a natural evolution.
well, that's the thing about witches and spiritualists. We don't try like other religious systems to throw our beliefs around.
Hmm.
We just live it and it shines out of us and people take note. So it's not, it makes me upset when people say we're trying to convert others. We're not. We're just living
Hmm.
our lives. If something's missing in you that you notice in us, that's on you, Bubba.
Hmm.
Um, so next, what were you gonna say, Liv?
I don't know if you ever heard of the Brushwood Cultural Center. It's in
No.
Sherman, New York. Um, they basically have a clothing optional campground,
Ooh,
and um, they hold some big pagan festivals there.
that would be awesome. We'll talk afterwards because I've always wanted to go to one of those. Um, the next card up, we have the magician. The magician's manifestation, creation, communication, and building something. The two things that it's willpower also, but that's third on my list. Okay. Communication and willpower are the two things. When did you start communicating to the people in your family that things might be going a different route for you?
Um, I don't know. I, I've
Or have
I've
you ever?
I've never not. Shall we say that?
Yeah, that's good.
My parents used to call me the lawyer.
Oh, I see. So you like what sign? What's your sign?
I'm a Sagittarius.
You're a Sagittarius, so you're a seeker of spirituality. You
Hmm.
seek things out. You like answers. That's awesome.
I have
Um,
a Virgo rising and a Cancer moon.
Enchanting Lunar Guidance is here. Hi, how you doing? She says hi to everybody.
Hey y'all.
Now, so you've always been yourself. Has that served you well, or has it gotten you into trouble?
Oh, well, I haven't really been Socially acceptable for most of my life.
Socially acceptable? Define.
Mm. Well, I am 6 feet tall, and I've been taller than most of the male figures in my life most of my life, so that was a strike. My name indicated my foreignness, and I've always been larger than was acceptable.
Acceptable to who? You see, when I hear things like that,
To my family,
and
for one.
yeah, I can understand. Oh, I turned my volume up by accident. I could understand that in the Hispanic culture, we didn't get that
Mm.
because my whole family was, what's the polite way to say this? Hmm, friendly with the Doritos. Let's
God,
say that.
is it
Yeah.
gorditas?
Yes. Yeah. We had we still have a healthy group of people in
Hmm. Hmm.
my family. Um, which kind of screwed with me a little bit because now my husband's a big boy. My
Hmm.
husband is I love it. I'm what we call a chaser, so maybe there's somebody out there for everybody, right?
Well, I
Um,
found out, later in life that there are people that appreciate me for me.
yes, there are. Do not for a second think that you are less than, because somewhere out there, there's somebody that wants you badly, mama. Okay. I will tell you this, when you walk down the street, not everybody is looking at you in a negative manner, dear. There are people looking at you in a positive light.
That's true.
All right?
I
It's
I
true.
remember one time I was walking down the street and I looked at the car that was passing by and the guy's head was like this. I was like,
I'm telling you, real men and women like something to hold on to, okay? I can't do with no. No offense towards thinner people. I just can't get to it. That's all.
sure.
Um, so you've always been honest with who you are. That's been awesome. That served you well. Now, let's talk about your intuition. We have the High Priestess. She represents intuition, mystery, and the subconscious mind. Um, when did your intuition start kicking into when you notice something might be valid to your
Well,
thinking?
I've had like deja vu occurrences as long as I can remember. And I read this book called The Fourth Dimension when I was around 16, and that sort of gave me the foundations for, intention and, using my mind.
Hmm.
And so as I started studying more about spirituality, alternative spirituality, and discovered more about the clairs, um, I have been basically trying to enhance those intuitive powers by wearing crystals.
We're going to get into the crystals because that's how I know you most as knowledgeable with the crystals. Whenever somebody on one of the channels presents or has a question, I always watch for your comments because you're going to have the answer to what the question is. Um, when you're what when your intuition started to truly manifest, how did it manifest? Feelings, thoughts,
um,
sound?
I feel this sort of a compulsion to express a thought. And, um, if I can feel it sort of like under my regular brain, you know what
Uh-huh.
I mean? It's like a lower level input. And like if the impulse doesn't go away to express the thought, then I kind of know that it's not from me.
Right. Okay. Um, were you ever scared of your own intuition?
Well, to be honest, like venturing into the ghost and like lower entity world, I am not really interested in doing that.
I feel that ghosts aren't something that grabbed me, my attention. I do enjoy doing the paranormal ghost hunts with
Hmm.
Ginger on her
Hmm.
channel and playing along at home. But I grew up in a haunted house, so it doesn't have the same "ooh" factor to me that it does to a lot of people. I'm like, yeah, it's just something that's there. I know that already. Let's go on to something new. Um,
I mean, I don't have a
but
problem dealing with spirits that have crossed over and that, just like come for a message. But people that are
howdy.
stuck here, you know, that's like,
Yeah, I've been getting approached lately for house clearings.
mhm,
The problem is I promised my husband I wouldn't do spirit work
mhm,
like that. He
mhm.
doesn't want anything latching on to me and bringing it home.
Yeah,
He's supportive in every other way,
that is a
but
concern. I mean, I can't really
to
blame
tell you
him.
the truth, yeah, it is. If somebody though was in serious need, I would gather a covenant and help
Hmm.
regardless. I
Hmm.
just let's stop talking about how I'm gonna
Or at least
screw
point
my
them in the
husband
right
over.
direction. At least point them
Right.
in the right direction.
That's right. We'll point them in the right direction. So next up, we have the Empress. The Empress embodies fertility, beauty, and abundance. What is the first thing you remember trying to grow in your life?
Um, I don't know. I mean, to be honest, my parents were not particularly generous people, and so I didn't feel
Okay.
particularly provided for most of the time.
And when
The
you
the only
discovered
thing they really allowed us to accumulate was knowledge. So
and
I spent most of my
when
life in the library.
me too. When you discovered you had the freedom once you're out on your own to start creating things for yourself, where did you start at?
um, I've started collecting crystals and um, metaphysical information.
When I think of you, I think of you in my head, oh, Crystal Witch. That's you, I'm sure you've got some of your crystals nearby you. What is your favorite one today?
Today. Well,
Today, because if you're like me, you have different crystals for different days to grab you.
this one has become a favorite for a lot of days.
That's nice. Is that smoky?
It's
What is that?
smoky mixed with amethyst,
Ooh,
and
wow.
I believe this is called a Shangan. It's from Africa. It has other
I'm gonna
minerals
write
inside of
this
it
down.
as well. Let me see.
Yeah, smoky and amethyst. Yeah,
I don't know if you
normally,
can see, but it has like sparkly.
oh, I must have. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, definitely. Thank you for showing me that. I like that one. That was
Yeah.
cool. Um,
It's my spiritual rocket ship.
Why do you collect crystals? What is it about them that you relate to more than other elements?
Well, I was born in an Earth year, and I have a Virgo rising. Um, I don't know, just the feeling I get from them is very relaxing. It blisses
You
me out.
have you have an affinity, a natural affinity with the crystals. You are
Mm-hmm.
a crystal witch. There's some of us who have to, and this ties in with male and female, in my opinion. Let me state, any opinions that I may say are my opinion. Um, Women have the innate natural ability, like Virgo, they're receptive to things 24/7. Men have the energy of the emperor. We have to actually be active to reach for the intuition sometimes. It's
Mm-hmm.
not an ongoing natural thing as it is with women, in my opinion. And I'm probably going to get a lot of shit for that, but it's what I believe. Um, I forget where I was going with that. The point is that you have an affinity with the stones that I have to actually reach for. I have to focus my will through the stones and focus on.
Mm-hmm.
I can't just hold a stone and automatically feel it. I have to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably a block on my part, but we'll deal with that in the future.
What is your elemental makeup as far
I
as
am a
your
Leo.
astrology?
I am a Leo.
Okay.
Um, I believe it's moon rising. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
We'll look after. I have it written down because I can never remember it.
Do you know what
Um,
your Chinese year element is?
I, I'm the year of the rooster. I'll say
Oh,
it that way.
69?
Uh, yep. So
Okay.
I was born in '69, the year of the cock. His wife when you say that, it's just
You're an Earth
I,
rooster too, so.
I'm an earth rooster. Woo. I love it because the rooster part when I do hoodoo work comes in very handy.
Hmm.
Um,
In
and
Tibetan astrology, we're phoenixes.
oh, I got a phoenix on my chest. Yes, that I know. Um,
Hmm. Hmm.
I have that phoenix energy, and I tell people who I've become associated with, like for work, um, I have this thing where everywhere I go, schools, jobs, homes, you either flourish or close down. It's just always been that way. Every school I left closed down the following year.
Mm.
Um, Most of the businesses I worked at closed down. Um, not because of me, let me just say that. Um, they I'm a phoenix. I bring change. I
Hmm.
accept that.
Hmm.
Um, this one lady says, "Oh no, I'm okay. I'm a phoenix too." And I was like, "Okay." Went to work there 6 months later. The police closed down. I was like, tried to tell you, but um,
So, since you have a fire moon and an Earth year, I would suggest peridot or obsidian for you
I
to
use
like,
both.
you know,
I
see
use both.
how your vibrations align with those.
Peridot is my birthstone, and I use obsidian and onyx
Hmm.
to balance myself out. You are correct there. Denise says she's the dragon. Woo!
Phoenixes and dragons like each other.
Phoenixes and dragons. It's an ongoing dance.
Hmm.
So let's go on. The emperor signifies authority, structure, and leadership. Um, is your spirituality structured?
No.
Do you no? So you're eclectic, so to speak.
Definitely.
Okay.
You see, after I went into the evangelical realm, and then pagan, and then I tried a little Muslim, and then I ended up back in the pagan. So I sort of take from all of it and combine it together.
That's a chaos switch. That's what a chaos switch does. I'm a chaos switch. I
Hmm.
pull a little from here, a little from there, and I make it all into a beautiful soup.
Yeah.
Um, Something you said strikes. Oh, Heather's here. Hey, Heather. Um, I had a question for you, and it was a good one, but I can't remember what it was.
It'll
Um,
come to you.
oh, I remember. I was just gonna say, have you ever looked into Kabbalah?
I did start reading about that too.
It's confusing, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
a little bit. I mean, there's a lot of dependencies on that system.
yeah. This depends on that. Depends on
Hmm.
this. Depends on
Hmm.
that. Yeah. It seems that way at first. It's
Like they don't want just anybody studying it.
it's set up a little rough, but once you know the secret code, it gets easier. Like it does inform on why the tarot aces are aces, twos are twos, threes are
Hmm.
threes, because it goes by the tree of life.
Oh,
Each number is associated with the sphere on the tree of life. That's why on the Ten of Pentacles, you see the tree of life.
okay,
It's that. Um,
okay.
uh, if you want some time, we could talk about it. I'll help you out. But I'm really big into the Kabbalah right now because I'm teaching Thoth Tarot over the next couple of months,
Hmm.
and I'm having to do immersion again. So everything around me is suddenly Thoth, Thoth, Thoth. Uh, the Emperor signifies authority, structure, and leadership. I'm not sure on what question I have for you here, other than the one I already asked about your religion being structured, and you said it's very what you need at the time.
Hmm.
That's the mark of an intelligent mind. Your soul
I do
knows
try to honor
this,
the moons.
the cycles and the changes.
Hmm.
It sounds like you're very analytical in everything you do. You like to be grounded. You like to understand things.
Hmm.
Next up, we have the Hierophant, which represents tradition, spirituality, and teaching. Have you ever had an actual teacher, or have you learned your spirituality on your own?
Well, I mean, besides the ministers that whose churches I've attended, um, Athena Parakis, she's the founder of Sage Goddess. I took some of her classes,
Mhm. I love
but
that name, Tina.
most of the rest of it I've just picked up on my own.
Good. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Everybody needs to explore their spirituality more on their own. Don't, it bothers me when people just say, "Oh, I'm a witch. I got to go buy Silver Ravenwolf's book now," and they think that's it. No, there's my glasses keep going sideways, and it's upsetting. There are no two witches that are the same, the way there are no two Christians the same. There's no two spiritualists the same. It's We're all human beings, and that's what makes us different.
To be
Um,
honest, my e- early life experience with the Christian leadership made me a little bit, shall we say, not entirely trusting of spiritual leaders.
oh yeah, they threw me out of church straight out when I was 15. They kicked me out
Oh my goodness.
because I was a little gay boy. Um, the love, the lover symbolizes relationships, choices, unions. Um, has your spirituality affected your love life, your dating? How, when you are interested in somebody, do you look for somebody who's spiritually evolved or somebody who's just dumb as a rock?
Oh, Um. All right. Well, I was dating a witch back in the 2000s, and he, for some reason, gave me a love spell, which I activated, and then I met my ex husband, which was, taught me not to mess around with love magic.
Yeah, love magic is real iffy. It's better to just do glamour on yourself to attract people and then build. But yeah,
Yeah,
I've made
but
that
no, I
same
wouldn't want to
mistake.
do a glamour either because they would be attracted to someone that wasn't me.
You're enhancing what's already there. Um, like if you've got a bubbly personality, you're glamoring it, making it shine, just bringing it to the surface. You're not creating a full illusion.
Hmm.
You're just bringing the focus onto the part you want. It,
Hmm.
it it's totally fun. Um,
However, at this point, I'm in a relationship with someone that I um, admire very much, and he accepts my spirituality, and so we're
is
good.
he a spiritual person like you?
His spirituality is focused more in the Christian area, but he's also Native American, so he understands that there's more than that.
Yeah, I love that. That's balance.
Mm.
I married a Christian man. We've been together 25 years,
Yeah.
and we just separate church and state. That's
Right.
as long as we do that, we're fine.
Mhm.
The chariot represents determination, control, and willpower. It's also a card of legacy, your family tree. How has your family come to terms with your spirituality now?
Well, my older sister is very Christian, so she doesn't really approve. But my younger sister is more eclectic in her beliefs. She and I have like traded oracle cards and things like that. So,
Awesome. What is your favorite oracle cards to use?
oh gosh, I don't know that I can choose one particular favorite.
I'm
they
the
they all
same way.
have their applications. They're they're good for different situations.
I mean, you've seen me read. I can't go through. I'm pulling decks left and right when I have when I read online. I have
Yeah.
so much fun doing it.
I mean, I have
Um,
stacks of decks next to me. That's why I called my channel the House of Cards because there's like a wall of cards sitting here.
I feel you, sis. I feel you. Let's see. No, nobody new. We've got 6 people watching right now. Heather, Lindsay. I saw Tom in here, didn't I? Yeah, early ritual. There you are. All right. Let's go on to strength. Strength embodies courage, inner strength, and resilience. Yeah, resilience. Um, have you ever had to be strong for yourself against everybody? Have you ever had to
Mm,
make a stand?
I guess. I mean, my home life was not great. So I felt like I was pretty much on my own most of the time growing up.
So you learned that inner strength early then.
Mm.
That's so sad when kids have to go through this. You know, um, I don't know your age, and it's impolite to ask what
Well,
I'm
we were
in.
born in the same year.
Okay, wink, wink. We'll say that. We were the generation of latchkey kids. People make jokes about it, but that's what we were. We came home. I don't know about you. I came home. We had to lock the door
Mm.
um, until our mom got home at 2 in the morning. Um,
See, I was kind of the opposite of that. My mother was very much of a helicopter parent as far as school was concerned. Like
Uh,
when my older sister and I went to elementary school, she started volunteering as a teacher's aide. Then when we went to middle school, she became a substitute teacher. Then when we went to high school, she became a permanent teacher.
I see.
So that
I
was
see the
another
progression.
social drag, shall we say.
Yeah. I yeah. I had people whose parents were teachers at our school. They did not like it.
Mm-mm.
It was not cool for them. Um, but that's awesome that you learned that sense of independence early, even though you had what you call a helicopter mom. You learned to think for yourself. Um, Speaking of thinking for yourself, we have the hermit, which symbolizes introspection, wisdom, and solitude. There comes a point in everybody's life when we realize this isn't working for me, and they have to step back and look in a different way. Um, when you realize that the Christian path everybody in your family was following wasn't quite for you, and that there might be more, did it cause you to go into hiding or solitude? Um,
Um, I mean, not really, because once I had left home, my relationship with them mm, was very distant.
yeah,
Yeah. So.
I'm sorry to hear that. Ours is distant too. And it's not that I don't want to be around them, it's just we don't have a lot to talk about. We end up saying, okay then,
Mhm. Like my mom,
okay then.
whenever we would be on the phone together, we'd spend 2 minutes talking and then she'd be like rushing us off the phone because of the cost of the call. I'm like,
Oh yeah, okay.
and that's what's important. Okay.
And looking back, what was your favorite part of growing up?
Mm, well, I really liked it when we got to visit other members of our family. Taking trips was probably my favorite part of childhood. Or when they would come and visit us and then everybody would be nice.
Well, I'll build on that. Everybody will be nice for a couple of hours until the tequila started flowing in our family, and then it all changed.
Oh, yeah.
Um, so we've got the wheel next, the Wheel of Fortune, and this is about natural cycles and natural changes of luck. If things keep going the way they're going now, where do you see yourself in the next couple of years?
Um, I don't know. I don't really have a whole lot of goals except for possibly being able to uh, move into a vicinity where Daniel and I can see each other more often.
Mm,
Mm, hopefully, develop my channel a little more, like start actually doing readings.
yeah, I'd love to see you doing more readings. You only have a couple of videos with readings on your channel. Um, you do more Oracle deck or tarot when you do your readings?
Um, I've only used Oracle decks so far because I have a lot more experience with those. Like when I was 21, I started collecting Oracle decks because tarot just seemed a little bit too incomprehensible to me.
It's really not. A lot of people think that, but the fact that you're drawn to Oracle cards and Earth cards, that's what I call gems and stones,
Crystals,
Earth
yeah.
cards, crystals. Those are Earth cards.
Mhm.
Um, you're drawn to these type of things. That's geomagic. That's geomancy. You really need to look into that more.
Okay.
You've got a foundation that others wish they have, you know.
hmm
Um,
Since the pandemic started, though, and I got into Tarot Tube, My tarot collection has actually reached the same level as my oracle card collection.
Well, there you have it. Um, Anytime you want help with learning tarot, I'd be more than happy to help you. Uh,
I learned a lot by watching the tarot oracle read. Do you know who that
every
is? He was around for a long time.
uh, um, um, the tarot oracle. Yes. What's his name?
Mm. Well,
Oh,
his
I
real
can
name is
see you.
David, but everybody just called him T.O.
No, 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 no. It's not who I'm thinking of then.
Hmm.
Um, if Dolores was watching, she'd tell me. So, justice signifies fairness, balance, and truth. Where do you find balance?
Uh, I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if balance is really what we want. Don't we want it to be weighted in the positive?
Yes and no. We want to be positive, but when you're too positive and something happens, and then you're not prepared for it
I
because
mean,
you're
I
out of
understand that there's
balance.
such a thing as toxic positivity.
That's the one.
I understand realism, but I hope for more positive things than negative ones.
We all hope for more positive than negative. That's what it is. Um, the thing with the Justice card, the Hebrew letter for this is Lamed. It means ox goad, kind of like those little things that herders use, like the
Hmm.
little whippy
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
It keeps the
Poke,
ox
poke.
on track. Poke, poke,
Poke,
poke.
poke.
Um, have you ever felt hurted in your spirituality?
Well, yeah. I mean, my
Besides
mother
church,
insisted we
I
went
mean,
to church. Yes.
since you've been out of that environment.
Mm. Well, when I went to the Ohio State University, I participated in, I think it was Campus Crusaders for Christ or something like that. That was a very herdy sort of environment.
Yeah, I can see that. Here's something, when I was 15, and I'm not slamming Christianity, so don't send me letters. Um, when I was 15, our church, yes, I went to church when I was 15. My mom sent us to Christian school so that we would know, we would know was how she put it. Um, they had something called SOS Hollywood at that time. It was a big event where people from all over the state came to Hollywood, stayed in a giant dormitory, and we went out and ministered to people on the street. They sent little 15-year-old gay boy me to West Hollywood to talk to grown ass men about Christianity. I got two dates, and, and I was kicked out of church. So that wasn't my fault. Okay, I told them this is a bad idea. This is kind of why I'm here. Yeah,
Mm,
but no, that was the funny part. I just had to share that story. I got two dates.
mm-hmm.
The hanged man symbolizes surrender, perspective, and sacrifice. What do you feel you've had to sacrifice?
Um, well, just by virtue of physical injuries, I've sacrificed mobility in my life.
Tell me more. Tell me more. What physical injuries?
When I was 15, I shattered my ankle, and my parents' insurance was not great, and they did not like perform a surgery or anything to fix it. They just put a cast on it, and
Mm.
I was in a cast for like 9 weeks, and ever since then, it's just it doesn't work right. It hurts, and when I left my husband, I ended up going to a women's shelter, and their beds were inadequate for my physique and I injured my back somehow. But the medical community hasn't been able to figure out what's wrong with it and how to fix it.
Gotcha. That sucks. My husband has an undiagnosed illness in his stomach, so
Mm,
it's uncomfortable, isn't it? It's
hmm
fearful. So now we're on to death, transformation, endings, and rebirth. When you think of the death card, what does it mean to you?
The death
Let's
card?
start there.
Well, of course, when I first was exploring tarot, the death card was very frightening. But since learning that it just means transformation, it's not that scary anymore.
No, it
Although
also,
change can be scary.
yeah, what I like to tell people, there's also an element of protection that goes along with it because it's associated with Scorpio. And
Mhm.
Scorpio is a protective sign, um, a defensive sign. So one of the things with the death card when it pops up is you need to defend yourself, maybe. Um, what has been your biggest transformation that you're proud of?
Mm. I think that, being able to free my mind from the Christian mindset into a more eclectic one is something that I'm proud of.
And you said that, and I could just hear Heather going, "Free your
I
mind."
love
Hey,
that
Rhoda.
song.
Rhoda, Lindsay, Heather. Oh, Miss Tarot D.
Hi, Misty.
We love Miss D. Okay, now let's go back to banners. Temperance, balance, moderation, and harmony. This is the alchemy card. What areas of your life would you like to pull together to create something new from?
Hmm.
I don't know if that was a well-worded question.
Well, the only thing that needs to be pulled together right now is me and Daniel.
Ah, I love that. So healing, bringing your other part close to you would bring healing into your life then. That's
Mhm.
excellent. Oh, the devil symbolizes temptation, materialism, and control. It's also the card of bullshit, as I say, because the Hebrew letter associated with this is ayin, ayin, meaning eye, the eye that sees past the bullshit and illusion. Um, how old were you when you started seeing past people's BS?
I have to say, I was pretty young because the members of my family have a propensity to not always tell the truth.
You strike me, Maru, as somebody who is empathic to the point where you're what I call a natural lie detector. Um, yeah, would you say that's accurate?
I guess so. I mean,
Yeah,
I will let you lie to me.
that's awesome. It's true. I mean, a lot of us will do the same thing. We'll let you lie to us and then turn around and go, this bitch. But yeah, I will let you lie to me. Miss Tarody says she has to run for now. Okay. Mwah. Love you, sweets. Um, I think that's I have several questions with the devil card, and I'm trying to figure out the best angle to approach this. What what do you find security? Let's go there. What do you find security? What makes you feel safe?
Mm. Well, Daniel does. Having money in the bank. mm, Having people, like
How
live.
did you meet Daniel? How did you meet Daniel? That's what I meant to ask you earlier.
I was living in Buffalo with my ex husband, who was at that point still my boyfriend. And he met Daniel in a bar and brought him home. And um, he needed a place to stay, so we put him up for a while. And then he moved on, and 20 years later, he looked me up again, and we started dating.
Girl. Good for you. Although on one hand, I'm like, yeah, mama, you go. On the other hand, I'm like, well, that's just lazy. You didn't even go out and look. You just kicked over a rock and there he was, men coming to you.
To be honest, that's how I've met all of my relationships.
Awesome.
They just came to see me.
They just showed up. The tower represents upheaval, sudden change, and revelation. What has been the biggest shock you've ever had to deal with?
Mm,
Something that knocked you on your butt.
okay. Well, I found out that after I had broken my ankle, um, I had asked my mother to take me to physical therapy to, help me get better, and she refused to take me. But I found out from my father many years later that she had told him that I did not want to go.
Hmm.
So that was very shocking. Also, the fact that when I wanted to go to a particular college, my mother said we couldn't afford it. But years later, my father said he would have been glad to take out a loan for me.
Yeah. Uh, I get you there. My sister, I love my sister. She is more my friend now than when she was when we were growing up, for sure. But when we were kids, she got spoiled a lot, a lot. Horse riding lessons, they'd spend time with her, things like that. She got drums to play. I never got an instrument. I could never get one because we couldn't afford it. This She got everything. She was the middle child, and she was the only girl, which is why she was spoiled.
Mm.
Um, and
Well, I was the
this
middle
is,
of three
yeah,
girls, so I did not get spoiled at all.
no. Uh, it just came as a shock as an adult to find out that my family didn't realize they had done that. And they were still defending, no, we never did that. And I'm like, what? What?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a shock.
Mm.
Um, Next up, Anna, we have the star, which signifies hope, inspiration, and renewal. When you wish upon a star, what do you wish for? And they'll say Daniel.
I wish I could dance.
Really?
Mm.
I like to watch the dance videos on YouTube. Um, I'll send you my favorite dude. He's phenomenal. I love it. Um, it's funny because I can sit there and watch those for hours.
Mm.
Um, you're an inspiration. Do you know that?
No.
I didn't think you were aware of it. but I'm going to share this with you. When you are in chat with people, you're supportive, you're helpful, you're intelligent. That is the mark of an amazing woman. Okay. You are an inspiration just by being who you are. And you need to bear that in mind. I'm
Thank you.
just going to leave that there. The moon card represents illusion, dreams, and the subconscious. We just did a Halloween ritual, a Samhain ritual actually, um, where we said goodbye to certain things
Hmm.
and brought in new things. One of the things that I said goodbye to, I used the moon card um, because I was giving up fear of certain things. What are you afraid of?
Oh, well, I'm afraid of the Republicans.
Besides politics, I think we're all terrified of that right now.
Mm.
But what I'm hearing when you say that is you're afraid of people being pulled apart. And
I'm
something about
afraid
the
of society being destroyed pretty much.
yeah. Yeah, that's why I don't like zombie movies. It's
Hmm.
society run amok that bothers
Hmm.
me more than the people eating people. So I get that. But what else are you afraid of?
Running out of money.
So the basics, all
Mm.
the top ones,
Mm.
safety, financial
Mm.
security.
Hmm.
Sounds like you might be human, Maru. I don't know how to tell you this.
Right.
Okay. The sun card embodies joy, success, and vitality. What brings you joy? What lights your happy fuse?
You guys
Yeah,
on
you can say
YouTube.
that.
It just makes me happy.
Oh, we love you too. It's just, I'm still getting used to the fact that I have a YouTube tribe.
Hmm.
Um, I only started my channel last year, and it's been so much fun meeting people, meeting you, meeting. I'm meeting people who, when I see them online like this for the first time, I forget we've never talked before because they
Hmm.
just seem so comfortable to me.
Hmm.
Um, what would you like to bring into your life? What kind of success and joy would you like to bring into your life?
Um, well, for me, I would really like to be able to help people, and I think that using cards and crystals is probably the best way I can do that.
That's awesome. That's why I do it. I
Hmm.
do it to heal people. I do it to help people. It's, I'm noticing it's part of a reader's makeup. Some people do it for the money, some people do it for the fame, but most people do it because they have a need to help other people.
Hmm.
It's been about 2 years since I met Martha in chat. Yeah, it's been about a year.
Yeah, yeah. I started hanging out on Tarot Tube during COVID, so.
Yeah, I think that's where I picked it up too. I started watching Chris Butler's videos
Mm.
on, and it just Chris leaned into Gerald, and then I started watching Gerald's channel. From Gerald, everything just blew up. We all
Yeah,
know Uncle Gerald.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. There's kind of like a weird sort of a divide in the tarot community. Like there's sort of groups that stick together, and like
yeah,
Tarot Oracle was not really part of this group, but I've met like Hershey over there, and
yeah.
then I met Gerald's channel, and yeah, Gerald pretty much opened up everything for me too.
Yeah, he's the gateway drug, isn't he? He just seems to be that poor man. I want to tell you something about Gerald. Everybody knows he was my first interview on the show. For some reason, he intimidates me. Um,
Oh no.
I know he's the nicest person. He's not intimidating, but when I'm around him, suddenly I'm first day at work and the boss is watching. That's how I feel every time
Oh
I'm with him on live. And I know he's not,
no.
know, and I need to tell him this just to get it out in the open because if I don't, I'm going to keep doing this. He came
Hmm.
on my channel and I felt like, just he's so strong and I wish I could be like him. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. So let's go on to judgment. Symbolizes rebirth, judgment, and
Speaking
inner
of
calling.
Gerald, I just wanted to share my fan.
Ah, you got a pretty fan. I like the way it disappears. I have one here.
It's pretty warm too, so I may as well use it.
He gave me the link to get one, and I haven't been able to.
Yeah.
Um,
I have a Facebook group called the Tarot Fan Club,
uh-huh.
which I named before I realized that fans were a thing.
Oh yeah. See, when I was in nail tech, I had a giant fan like that. And when you do nails, you put dehydrator and primer and all this stuff on the nails, but you have to wait for it to dry. So I would reach over, grab my fan, and then go
Hmm.
on my, and it would just speed it up.
Hmm.
But it got to the point where I enjoyed popping it open because it made the entire salon jump every time. I got really good at that bad boy.
Yeah.
What would you say that your calling in the long term is, or are you still discovering what that is?
I think that sharing, my knowledge of crystal powers and hopefully um, creating a deck with Latvian and Lithuanian symbolism. Those are
Oh,
two of my
dude,
goals.
that would be awesome. That really would be awesome. I'm seeing it in my head how that could go.
Hmm.
I'm a crafter. I like making things. So when somebody throws something like that out, I'm like, the first thing I do is try to, yeah, 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 that could be done. Yeah. Um, let me see what this says up here real quick. Heather says zero clicks are just like anywhere else. Some are like high school, to be honest. In my experience, it's true. Some of the tarot clicks have been a little mean girly almost,
Yeah.
but we've got a good one. That's why when I see other people bitch about people, and I'm like, we don't get that. I think mainly Maru, you're one of the main reasons. You're a moderator who's up on it, You you're a good guard, to tell you the truth.
Thanks.
So, but what would you say your long-term calling is? I have an idea for you. I think you should do a segment on your show, even if it's shorts, just explaining one by one what your crystals are and what they mean. That would be a great series.
That is actually something that I have been contemplating. And I would call it those segments Maru's House of Cards and Crystals.
I think that it's definitely something you need to lean into if that's
Hmm.
your strength.
Hmm.
Um, because when I think of you, the first thing I think of is crystal knowledge.
Okay.
You're pretty, you know. We've reached the world card? Okay. The world represents completion, achievement, and fulfillment. Hold on. Sorry, my nose is sneezing, and I'm trying
Mm,
not to.
that's
Right in
okay.
the middle. Ah, so achievement and fulfillment. There really is no finish to this story because it's an ongoing one. So I'm going to lean into the Saturn aspect of the world card. The world is associated with the planet Saturn. Um,
I have Taurus and Saturn.
you have Taurus and Saturn, so you like to hold on to
I'm very
physical
ruddy.
things. Very ready. You like to be secure. You like to know you're grounded and safe, is what
Hmm.
I'm getting from that. Um, restriction. Saturn is the planet of restriction, but with purpose. It pulls things in and then gives birth to them. Okay. Saturn pulls things in with the world, close it, and then gives birth to the fool on the next journey. So, is there an aspect of your life that you feel is coming to an end?
Oh, I hope not. I'm pretty happy with how things are going right now.
Okay, that's a good answer. Uh, oh, they're still talking about that. Yes, every channel has this group, its own energy, and they can vary widely. That is true. Um, yes, some groups are different. I'm used to our group, you know? I'm used to the people that we see regularly. Ramon, Mr. OD, Ginger, people like this.
Mhm.
When I see somebody really out there, I'm A, intrigued, and B, confused. That's it is. I'm intrigued and confused. Like I'm going to be doing a new segment on my channel called 420 Tarot, where it's going to be me doing readings, but I'm going to get blasted beforehand. Um,
Oh.
because that's something I like to do. I
Hmm.
live in Arizona. I like
Hmm.
to smoke weed, and I do it medicinally, but
Oh, I like cannabis too. And actually, I think it does help with connecting intuition when you're doing readings.
it does. It's one of the gateways of making magic, but it's not one that I like to. Pharmakia is one of the 8 ways. Um,
Hmm.
I think it puts you in a different mindset, leaves you open,
It
but
does
you
open.
need to
Yeah,
be
it
grounded.
opens a channel. It does.
Yeah. But like I say, you need to be grounded because if you're opening yourself up that way, you want to prevent other things from coming in. So anybody thinking of doing that, do your homework first.
Okay.
Um, Maru, you have been a lot of fun today. Is there
Thank
anything
you.
we didn't cover that you want to throw out?
I don't think so.
Okay, what's your favorite crystal of all time?
Um, I would say rose quartz is probably my go-to.
Awesome. Rose quartz is good for heart, love, interpersonal relationships,
Yeah, it's basically the
peace.
stone of unconditional love. So this is the only piece I can reach right now, but there's my little babe.
I love it. I really do think you should um, do a series on gems. We'll talk backstage. But for now, um, I want to thank everybody for watching today's episode with Madame Maru's House of Cards. Please, her link is in the description. If you're watching this on replay, please check out her channel. Um, and we are encouraging Maru to be doing more lives with us. So I'm going to be approaching you more often, Maru. So get ready, all right, dear?
Oh yeah. Thanks for
All
coming,
right,
everybody.
thanks. You. We'll see you guys later and enjoy the outro.
Goodbye. Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true, you're a pal and a confidant.